A light mist hung over the water surface of the river. Nightbirds chirped in the darkness, and cicadas played along with their chirping. Twilight is a great time to go fishing. Few people go out fishing at this time, and Simon took advantage of it. At such times, you can really relax and enjoy the atmosphere of nature. And most importantly, a good catch. Before launching the boat, Simon looked at the water surface. Fry were playing on the bottom, timidly swimming towards the shore. The boat was on the move now, so Simon jumped in and swam into the river. A light breeze blew against his back, making hundreds of goosebumps run down his spine. The boy shuddered, wrapping himself more tightly in his warm jacket. Having swam away from the shore enough, Simon took up his fishing rod. The fishing went well. Half of the bucket was already full, and another one was ready. Simon got into the excitement, forgot about time, and not only that. He was so caught up in fishing that all he could think about was the fish and the river, which had no end and no edge. As soon as he cast, suddenly a strange-looking fish jumped out of the water. It was quite large, with a roundish shape and angular sides, and the head it looked something like a human head. Simon noticed it and looked into the water, but the fish was gone. It must have shown itself, he thought, taking up his fishing rod again. As soon as he cast, the fish suddenly jumped out of the water. Simon shouted, grabbed the creature and started pulling, but it wouldn't budge. He had to get help to get the fish to let him go. Before he could swim a couple of meters away, he was attacked again. This time 3 fish, forcing him to let the oars out of his hands. His body was no longer obeying the boy. Simon, unable to fight off the river creatures, began to hit the sides of the boat. He struggled to get up and began to swing the oar, driving away the monsters, but there were more and more of them. From a few dozen to as many as 100, it was now impossible to fight off such a horde. From such a battle, the oar broke. Soon everything went quiet as Simon grabbed a second paddle. The water monsters stopped terrorizing the guy. Simon stood alert for a minute as the tension in his body subsided. While there's time, we should swim away. It was hard enough on a single oar, impossible to swim. His arms ached terribly. It was still a long way to shore. He hoped that someone would hear him, but there was only emptiness around him. Simon was desperate, and he clutched his head and cried. He would have to sit in the middle of the river until morning, hoping that someone would find him during the day. Suddenly, the water bubbled in front of the bow of the boat. Simon paid attention to it. Each time the bubbles got bigger, a small wave appeared in that place and headed toward the boat, increasing in size. This wave was quite unusual. Those creatures were approaching their prey in a wall of water, raising a torrent of water. Simon covered himself with his hands, though he knew it wouldn't help him. The wave of river monsters swept over him, engulfing him and the boat. 2 fishermen found the guy's body the next day, floating on the surface of the water. They noticed his skinned scarlet back, with his spine protruding. The fishermen dropped their fishing rods and ran to call for help. Meanwhile, several of the creatures were already swimming closer to the shore.